welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here with another Sims 4 speed build, and this time we are doing a gorgeous family home. Well, I suppose it could be a family home if you really wanted it to. I'm doing it as a home for a single sim, but we're having Christmas with Grandma, as you can tell by the thumbnail. So what I've basically done is create a family home and have decorated it in a kind of grandma style, lots of sort of cottage core, lots of things like that, which I thought worked really well for this sort of style. And yeah, I mean, it has 3 bedrooms and a bathroom, so you can have it as a family home if you wanted to, but I've just kind of done those bedrooms as kind of a bit more like a spare bedroom kind of aspects. You'll see those later on in the video, so do go and check those out. But yes, this is going to be kind of a Tudory kind of cottage. Now, normally I take inspiration from the thousands of images I have on many a Pinterest board, but this time it's slightly different. I actually found this house by driving around, which sounds probably a little bit creepy, I've got to be fair. Not intentionally. Into there. I was driving down the road and I saw this house and it was super cute, fun little cottage, and I kind of fell in love. So I managed to get one sneaky little picture as we were going, and I then found it on the maps and have done a little bit more research on the kind of the back of it, because my picture wasn't that good. So all I really had was like a half excused front picture, and yeah, the rest is kind of a little bit more made up from sort of satellite images. But it all came across pretty well. I think I'm actually happy with this house and what it looks like in real life too. So yeah, I hope you like it as well. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think. But I do use lots of sort of bricks and lots of kind of Tudor aspects. So I thought it would work really well as a sort of a Christmassy kind of a cottage in here. And yeah, let me know what you think in here. So we are actually building this in Henford-on-Bagley, which I've got to be fair, when this world came out, I was a bit like, I don't really like it. It doesn't really work too well. But now, I feel like I'm really in a cottagey kind of vibe at the moment, and I seem to be building quite a lot here. I don't know whether that's like, it's not intentional. When I set out to do each individual house, I kind of look at my images and go, what am I going to be building today? Where is it going to work best? And recently it seems like it works here because I'm in that cottagey kind of mood. So yeah, we've done quite a few in this sort of world and different sort of neighbourhoods in this world. This is actually like in the town centre. It's in the middle of the 3 lots in here, kind of up these little stairs, which I thought worked out really well into here. Now, as usual, I do cut out a lot of this. I do change the brickwork down below. I didn't really like the red brick, and the real image kind of had like these creamy white kind of bricks, but it had the lines on it, and you do not want to know the amount of time I spent going through different colour palettes trying to work this out for this build. It just did not work. Anyway, I settled on this kind of creamy, kind of plain brick build in here, and then with like the kind of Tudory kind of panelling on the outside with like, I think it's like cob or something. It's like made of straw and horsehair and mud and stuff, which is pretty common for houses in the country, especially where I live. We tend to have quite a few of those sort of around, and I know a lot of sort of my neighbours and stuff have houses like that as well in the little village where I'm from. So I think it worked pretty well in there, and I actually really do like this house, and I say this pretty much every video that we do. I would live here. This actually looks kind of, no, it's it's not quite like my house, but it's like one of the houses. Like, I live in a really old house, and I feel like this is kind of that sort of style as well, that I could definitely see myself living in something like this. Really small rooms, which posed a bit of a challenge when it came to furnishing. So yeah, but I have tested and it is workable. Like, you can access the kitchens, the bathrooms at work, the bedrooms and all of those sorts of things. You can access all of that as well. Now, this house, I've got to beat the elephant in the room. It does kind of have like a secondary door, and I didn't really know what this was for. Maybe it was like a garage or something originally, and it's been like converted, or it was just something. And so I kind of put another door here, and I ended up changing it. So that little front nook on the side doesn't actually look like that in real life. What I do is I kind of pull out that so the roof stays the same, and then it's the kind of utility kind of slash kind of mudroom on the side there. That changes shape a little bit to what you see when I build in here, because I looked at the pictures at the end and it just didn't make sense to have two front doors. Now, saying that, my house has two front doors. We have a door on the side, which is the one we use, and we have one in the porch, which we don't use. I feel a lot of houses, especially where I live, have these kind of like mudrooms kind of on the side that we use more than the front door. But I don't think it makes a lot of sense to other people. So in the end, I kind of changed that all out. In there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have kept it. Maybe I should have got rid of it. I don't know. Maybe I should have just changed it up. I was building from the image, first of all, and then not really thinking about the practicalities of the house. So yeah, but we have jumped inside now. As usual, I've cut out a lot of the landscaping for here. I've showed you probably a little bit more than what I would normally show you. I've got to fill this house, although it's a reasonable size. I mean, it is on a 30 by 20 lot, and it has got 3 bedrooms. It felt quite quick to do it, and I think I managed to do this in like 3.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. So it was quite a quick build to do. I've spent a longer time editing this than I have recording it, but that seems to be the way at the moment. Yeah, I take forever because I think I was on Twitch I've been on Twitch for so long that I can just build a house. I just sit here, I just build, I chat away, I listen to music, I maybe watch a TV show, maybe a film on, something like that, and I can just build. That's fun. What's not fun is spending hours editing. So I hate editing videos nowadays. So yeah, that's why I get distracted way too much by lots of things that could just be something else. Which yeah, means that this has taken a lot longer. And I think all of my videos, I hate recording and editing any of my videos. It doesn't matter what game it is, I just can't sit here for too long editing and cutting because I'm seeing my work basically being destroyed. But anyway, enough about that. I've been waffling on. So this is the living room, which I love this little fireplace, but this room is tiny. And especially because when I was doing the floor plan, I actually cut this in half so that there's a beam running through it, kind of on the ceiling, and it works out really, really well, and I really like it with that beam. It just means that there's sort of columns coming through, which also cut into the room, and it just makes this whole room feel really, really tiny. And then trying to get in this ginormous Christmas tree. Why are they so big? To be fair, they are quite big in real life as well, but trying to get it all in here as well, it made things a little bit interesting. But the fire does work. You can sit and watch the TV. I don't think you can actually use the coffee table though. I had a little bit of issue with the kids sim. We placed like the friendship bracelet set on here, and she couldn't seem to make any bracelets with it. I don't know why, but yeah. If that's the only thing that's wrong with this build, then I'm fine with it. Into here. And you also do only have a 2-seater sofa because there's no room. And I do make this cat friendly because I feel like Grandma maybe wanted a little cat that kind of pops in, maybe spends most of its time being aloof and wandering the village, but sort of comes home now and then. So that's what I've got in here. I've got the pet bowl, I've got the bed in here for it as well. So yeah, but then this end of this sort of main room is kind of the dining room, and again only three chairs at the table. Yeah, you know, it's a small house. I had to make some choices of how and where furniture goes, but yeah, it's small, and that's what country living is all about. I feel like with old homes, they're either really small or really big. I haven't seen any medium-sized old homes, so it's realistic. I think that's something, you know, it's a realistic home in here. But I struggled to get counters in here that kind of worked with the sort of the colour theme. I ended up going for horse ranch in this really light kind of wood, which doesn't really work with the darker wood, but it gives it a nice sort of contrast, a nice pop of colour coming through in here. And then lots of the cottage kit, I think it is, cottage kitchen kit. The kind of fridge and the cooker and stuff really worked with all of this. And then getting in all of the clutter and making this a bit more messy and a little bit more lived in, which obviously is what you would get for lived in family home like this. And yeah, I feel like you've seen a lot of my kitchens. Kitchens are like always the same for me, but I feel like this one is maybe a little bit more kind of old looking. Maybe it's a little bit kind of run down, a little bit. It could do with a little bit of TLC, but it works really well. And I really like this house. I feel like I say that all the time. I need to stop with this. And then we get some open shelving in here. There wasn't much space for kind of like cabinets, so I ended up going with this sort of section of open shelving, which I think works really well into here with sort of all the different things that I want and can get in here. And then we end up using the wonders of tool to make some of this work in there as well. Lots of plates. I love those plates from the new stuff pack. I'm not sure if we can call it new anymore. It's not that new, but anyway, from the stuff pack into here. And we do use a few other pieces, so it kind of makes it worthwhile that we actually have that kit. So I think the sink is from there. We have the waffle maker because, you know, Grandma's waffles Christmas morning, like, come on. They just work out really well in there as well. And obviously the plates and stuff. I feel like that is quite a modern pack though, so I didn't want to do too much with it because, again, old house in here. And we kind of have a little bit of pink coming through, which I don't really get in anywhere else in this house other than the kitchen. That does seem to be quite a pink kind of room in there, but that's fine. We can use that in here, and then getting the cat feeder in and setting in there. And I also got a little water bowl. Obviously we don't have water in game, but it kind of fits what I'm trying to get in with all of this as well. So you have the feeder and the water bowl down there in the kitchen, and then we grab out the cabinets. Now I do get these in here, just a couple in here which I think fit quite well, and yeah, they go in just to kind of add just that little touch in this sort of corner. I think it needed it a little bit more into there. And then we end up placing some things up here as well, like the little teapot and the tea kind of canisters. I'm not really sure what they're called in real life, but caddies, is that what they're called? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Down into there. And now I kind of had this room. Now I could have turned this into a dining room. I could have turned this into maybe like a downstairs kind of bedroom. I could have done a lot of things, but I feel like this would really work as a hobby room. So we kind of get in the artist easel, the piano, the knitting set. Now I did have one of these over on the coffee table, but I changed my mind and put the friendship bracelet in because I thought that maybe that grandma had bought that for the kids that came for Christmas, like, you know, just something to keep the kid occupied before Christmas. Obviously, and when they get all of their sort of main presents, you'll see those later on. And so this has maybe been bumped into here. Lots of plants. We do get lots of sort of plants out in the garden as well. So I think maybe they sort of look after their kind of garden and have lots of bits and pieces going on in there. And then the bonsai. Now, I actually, talking of bonsais, got a bonsai kit for my birthday that was at the beginning of the month, and I've been growing those from little seeds, so they're not doing anything at the moment, but over time we'll see those grow. So I thought, as I had just watered them when I was recording this, I would put in a bonsai tree, something that I don't tend to use. It's kind of one of those forgotten activities in here, but you can do certain things with them. You can shape them and change them and do all sorts of bits with them, which I thought was quite cool. So yeah, I feel like this is kind of a home that would kind of fit with something like that. And now we have this little back kind of patio raised section in here. Now the roof of this, I have put like fencing on it and kind of done a cool little pattern, but it is open to the elements a little bit more in here. So it's kind of like maybe a little bit kind of sheltered, but not too much. And I don't show you the rest of the garden, along with a lot of landscaping. It takes me forever, and yeah, part of me really likes landscaping, part of me kind of really doesn't like it. It's like one of the last things I do in any build. It's kind of the sort of back sort of garden for any build. And by that stage, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm done with this house by now. So that's why that's not shown. But we do get in a couple of sort of big planters, and I think we end up using some tall, like, vegetables. I think there's like an apple, maybe a pear tree, and then there's a couple of other little ones as well. But obviously they are a little bit more exposed being outside as well. And there's also the seating table, sort of that is outside on a raised section, and then there's other planting and stuff. And I get a little fence, kind of stone wall around this too. But you'll see all of that in the screenshots as well at the end. So this is the main bedroom. Now I love this kind of, it's a really small room. All of these are really small, but this kind of whole little look here where I've got the bed, the bedside tables, and then these mirrors, I felt like it needed something on the wall. And I was looking at sort of the different mirrors, maybe a bit of artwork, maybe some like wall scones, that sort of thing, and then decided on these mirrors and then went through the colour options. Why are the colours so bad? They are awful. But I went with this white because I thought like we've got kind of cream kind of downstairs a little bit, and so I kind of changed it up a little bit with this white, and we do use some more sort of lighter woods elsewhere upstairs as well. But it's a bit of a nice contrast, I think, to kind of the darker wood for the bed, the bedside tables, the dresser, and all of that as well. So it kind of works in there for what I wanted in here. I think this rug was too big or too small, and I just could not get it to work. But in the end, the power of tool made it so that it fitted perfectly in here. And now, right, this house is on a tiny, one-step platform. So that means that there's columns sticking through, and the fireplace is slightly clipping with the upstairs. I don't really know why. I think it's because that sort of platform issue, and it's just not raised it properly. I don't know. But you can see the fireplace here and some of the columns, and I end up kind of hiding them, but they do still work. So there's a dresser goes over the top of it on both sides. But this is the little kids' bedroom, and it's a very small room as per, but I felt like this maybe as the spare bedroom in this kind of house. Like maybe they had boxes in here or something, and they've just taken those out. And kind of it's a bit more neutral in here. There's not a lot in here. There's couple of toys I feel like maybe they've either brought with them or grandma has in their house for when little one comes to stay, something like that. That's kind of my idea for this sort of room in here. Kind of went for the sheep, which I thought perfect for the country side into there as well. But yeah, a couple of little kind of carry-ons, maybe like they've brought their luggage or something, and we've got the bigger ones in here as well. And then this is the last bedroom, which again is kind of a little bit more neutral. We kind of change it so that it's kind of more like the guest bedroom in this house. There isn't too much in here. It's just kind of a spare room that you can use when your family comes to stay, that sort of thing in here. But we are quickly wrapping up this video into there. So I shall what do you think of this build? What are your plans for Christmas too and the holidays? I'm gonna have probably a low-key Christmas this year. I think I'm just gonna stay locally with family and stuff like that. I've got lots of videos planned as well, so lots of exciting stuff to come, so do check that all out as well. Make sure you are subscribing here, and yeah, I've got some big projects I want to get on. I feel like every time I say, oh, I'm going to do a big project, something happens and then it just doesn't happen. But I've got something, hopefully I'm going to plan for, I think I have a video scheduled for Boxing Day. So yeah, check that one out into here as well. But yes, you can download this house right now from the gallery. My ID and log description are down below as well, so do check that out along with all of my socials. And here are the presents I said about earlier, that they're keeping them up here just because I didn't want to put them under the tree with a kid in there. But yeah, right. So yes, do check out my socials down below, and then you will obviously get screenshots and other bits and pieces from these builds. And I will see you all in the next one. But until then, stay happy and stay building. Bye everyone!